stuff. So the one more way it is to check the what in this host, in this computer, in this operating system, what are the process are up and running to check it out. Just to use the PS space hyphen EF, okay, PS space hyphen EF. There is no space, okay. So then pipe symbol, then grep hyphen I, just type the HDB. Just type the HDB here. So this is the one of the interview they asked this question here, frequently asked question here. Okay. So just type the HDB here. You will get the, here you can see in the left side what are the databases are which are up and running here. What are the databases are up and running here. Suppose if you type the SAP, then what are the SAP services are which is up and running here. If you type so Ravi, then it will display the what are the services are up and running on Ravi username here. So here, so after the PS-EF grep high, whatever you type it, so that will be displayed, that data will be displayed here. So that is the one of the important command. That is one of the important command here. So in the Linux level here. So we have discussed about the overview, landscape, then alerts seeing and performance, right? Performance and all these things we are discussing here. Okay. So now volumes mean to check the spaces, space levels and everything. All those things we can see it here, the spaces things and everything. So we can see the all the details and everything here, the CPU utilization, memory utilizations and used memory, peak used memory. So all the information we can see it here, right? So then we can see the so used memory, then CPU usage here, disk usage, CPU usage, memory, all those things we can see it here. Okay, all those things we can see it here, right? Then so landscape information. So let's performance volumes up to here we have discussed it, right? So now let's talk about the configuration. Configuration here. So what is mean by configuration here? Configuration. Suppose within your system, if you want to change, if you want to change here within system, if you want to change your any configurations here. Suppose in SAP, if you want to change any default SAP configuration, we will go to the profiles, right? RZ10, RZ11 transaction codes. In the profiles topic, we will go, we will change it here. At the same time, in HANA level, if we want to change the any settings in HANA level, if you want to change the any settings here, if HANA level, so anything, so we can change it here. Then so HANA level, suppose if you want to change new thing, new settings, new timeout parameter, new configuration parameters, if you want to do any changes here, so you can go to the configuration here tab, here we can change it here. But we cannot change the any directly, we cannot change anything in the configuration tab here. Directly we cannot do anything in the configuration tab. So why? Because if you want to do anything, you need to go with the via systemdb itself. Via systemdb you need to do the all the changes here. Via systemdb you need to do the all the changes here. Here you have to go to the here, so you need to do the changes. Suppose example, so each process, suppose like if you take the so each process, suppose like this is the tenant. In the tenant we have the index server global.ini files. So anything you want to change database level, so then means anything if you want to control it or any memory restriction, CPU restriction, then here we have to use the ini files. So here we have to use the ini files, we have to use it here, access global index server script. So there are the ini files are available here. ini files are available here. So these ini files we need to change it here. These ini files we have to change it to the, in this case we have to change it here, right? So that is the one thing we have to check it out here. Then systemdb. So in the systemdb also, in the systemdb we have the daemon. So daemon, so name server, pre-processor, remaining processor running. So if any process, if you want to change it, any process, then respect to open the respect to ini files, then respect to parameters are available, then you need to change it here. Suppose example, the most frequently changed parameters are, suppose like in the in the global.ini file most frequently changes parameters. If anyone asks the question, normal no one asks the question. Suppose if you want to change the any system settings, HANA database related system parameters, where can you go ahead and change it here? Here in the HANA Studio, if we go to the configuration tab, there we can change the respective parameter value. We can change it here. So the most memory parameters are the most you changed parameters here. Memory parameters are the most changed parameter. Those are called the global allocation limit, global allocation limit, and the statement memory limit, statement memory limitation parameters. Then the statement, so memory threshold parameters. So these are the most frequently asked questions, right? These three parameters here. Suppose you need to change it here, but here where to change it here? Normally we have to go to the global.ini. In the global.ini, if we go to the memory manager, in the global.ini we have the memory manager. In the memory manager, here you can see the values of the parameter here: statement memory limit, statement memory restriction, and a global allocation limit here. So see, the value is 0 here, which means global allocation limit means this is the one of the memory parameter here. Memory parameter here. Suppose if you see this is the 34 GB total, 37 GB total RAM here, right? 37 GB total RAM size here. In this 37 GB, you allocated 34 GB to the HANA using memory means 34 GB you allocated to the HANA. In that 7.9.9 GB, around 10 GB is already using by the HANA databases, already data, remaining all are free. So HANA will work up to remaining memory usage, everything is free here, right? So it will work here. Suppose I don't want to give entire 34 GB to this database, I want to give only 28 GB. Now 0 means it's unlimited. Now suppose if I give 28 GB memory to the my HANA database, if I just click on save button, right? We click on the save button here. Now just if you go to the here, just refresh it here. Now this value will be changed to the 28 GB here. The value will be changed to the 28 GB here. Means HANA is permitted to use only up to this limit only. Up to this limit only it will be used here. So then once this limit is crossed, HANA will be restarted. Your HANA DB will be restarted here. HANA DB will be restarted here. Right? So that is the one thing here. Right? System DB. If you go to the system DB, you have all the information are available here. Right? So suppose you want to restrict the statement memory limit. Suppose in the database, statements will be executed. Some statement will be finished soon. Some statements will use the 1 GB memory. Some statements like you will use the 34 GB memory. I don't want to all statement use the more memory. Then I want to only 4 GB memory means just if we configure the 4, then all the statements will use the only 4 GB memory only. It will use it here. 4 GB memory it will use it here. Suppose you are not sure what are the parameters means. If you type it here, suppose like memory like that, if in the filter, if you just type it here, you will see the memory related all the parameters, you will get it out from here. Memory related all the parameters you will get from here, right? It's not like that. So you need to exactly go to the respective folder and see it here. If you don't know, there is a filter option here. Each and every you have the filter option. So just to go to the here, you want to change the timeout parameter, time out. Then you see the list of timeout parameters here. You see the list of timeout parameters and everything here. List of timeout parameters and everything we have here, right? So here you can see the timeout parameter. Suppose if you want to change it, go to the here 1440 24 hours. Then I want to 23 hours, right? So then just 1340 something like that you want to change it. There is a recommendation. Then you can change it here. So like this, we have to change the values here. Like that, we have to change the values here. The default value, this is the custom values here. We want to specific tenant only. You don't want to change it to the system DB specific tenant. You want to change it here. specific tenant. So if you change the system DB, automatically the tenant also will be impacted here. Automatically the tenant also will be impacted here. We want to host specific host level. Host level means suppose if you have the more than one tenant, two tenant, that time, so you want to specific to the only the specific tenant only. That time this option will be used. So if you have the host level changes, if you want to perform it, then you can use this one here. So if you want to only system DB level, system enter system level, so then you can use it here. No, I don't want to enter system level. I want to specific to the tenant only. Then you can configure the tenant specific configurations. We can perform it here, right? So here multiple options. You can use the multiple things. We can use it here. Multiple options. We can use it here, right? So it's kind of time. So timeout parameter. Then memory. What is the parameter name? If you enter the total memory like global underscore memory, global memory. So like that, if you enter the parameters, that parameters will be displayed here. That values will be displayed here. That is called the global allocation limit statement, memory limits. All the limits means any changes in the system. If you want to change it here, then here it is the one in the configuration tab. Here you can change the all the values and everything here, right? So here some parameters are static. Here also, if you change the parameters, are do we need to restart the system here? Yes, some parameters we need to do the restarts. Some parameters we don't need the restart. Sir, how can I tell? So my manager is asking me, sir, which parameters restart is required or not? Then how can I tell? So here in the SAP, if you go to the SAP help.com, there that they have clearly given the information here which HANA parameters require the restart and not require the restart here. So there is a HANA SAP HANA parameters. There is a help flag here. Parameter restart required. There is a help.com. So here they will give the clear information here. Yeah, that required the restart or not. So that will be displayed here. That will be displayed here. So there is a one note here. So let me open that note here. Yes, this is the one. Yeah, this is the help site here. So here, so if you go to the here help site, HANA help site here. So just here you need to check the in the table. Suppose you have changed the global allocation limit. Normally, if you do the any parameter changes, that require the restart, right? So, but we are not sure. SAP level we cannot tell. With SAP level also, if you go to the RJ1011, if the parameter is changeable, that is the dynamic parameter. No need to restart it. If it is the not restart, it no changeable option, then we need to do the restart option, right? So here we can use these options here, right? In the HANA level, it's very simplified. So just if you go to the here, so then you can type the whatever the parameter you want to change it, you can type it here. Just click on the OK button here. Then it will show the some information here, which means whether a restart is required or not. If you go to the global data NA, so here it clearly display the restart required or not. So if it is the true, then restart is required. If it is the false, restart is not required, immediately the value will be impacted. Immediately the value will be impacted. Suppose if you see, if you change this parameter, restart required or not, yes, true, then definitely restart is required. So if it is yes or no, this is the very important block here. So this is the SAP help site. It's provided to the customer here. So you can set your own parameters here. You can set your own parameters here. So it will give the clear information here. So tomorrow, if anyone asks you the question, how can you tell or how can I know whether these parameters are required restart or not here to change the values impact? Now, suppose example, the memory parameters, we changed it here, right? So memory parameters, we changed it here. So then memory parameters we changed. So it is impacted immediately. The value got changed here. Immediately the value got changed to the 28 GB, 27 GB, it got changed. So this is not required. Restart is required. Some parameter, if you change it, it won't impact immediately. Then that parameters, we need to read the restart here. So, and also same way in HANA level also, there is a one query we can execute it in HANA level. HANA level, there is a query we have to use it to know which one is required the restart or not here. So better instead of executing the query, then if you just put the parameter name here, it will give the all the details and everything here. All the details will be displayed in this case here. Okay. So this is the one of the good help.com to find out the which parameters we require the restart or not here. Okay, so that is the one thing here. So in the HANA level also we can find out studio level, there is a query m underscore, there is a configuration parameter view. We have to go to the table level. We have to view the data. There is a lot of things. Instead of that, so you need to go to the site and you can pull the data here. That is the configuration option here. So system information. System information means your current system details here. Current system reports. Current system reports here. Suppose, suppose, suppose someone required the data of the someone required the data of the blocked transaction. Normally, if you need the blocked transaction list, what you required, you have to go to the performance tab. Then you can just go to the blocked transactions here. Then we will report to the or no, it's not required like this here. Here you can go, then execute the right click and execute it. Then the data, the report will be displayed here. Right click and execute it. The report will be displayed here. If you just right click and just execute it, the overall workload information will be displayed here. Suppose you want to know some data, you want to know size, you want to know sessions, how many sessions are in the system. Just to click on the execute button, then the sessions will be opened here. The sessions will be opened here, right? The sessions will be opened here. The sessions will be opened here. Here, all those things we can just save it as a you save it as the text file or HTML file, XML file. You can send the screenshot to our manager, whoever asked the question here, right? So then, like that, if you need any information from the system, so then we can go to the system information. We can execute the related report. Suppose your manager asked you in the production how many connections are live currently. So then you can just get the all the data here. You can inform to the respective member here. You can inform to the your respective person. You can inform to him here. What are the functions, client, local, all are available here. You can send the all the details here. Okay. You can this just we can save it as a notepad or text. We can save it here. This one, right? In the save we can save as a file, notepad. So HTML, we can save it and we can send to the our manager who asked this question. So you can send the report here. So this is the just system information. This is the just system information about the your system here. Okay. So current system usage and information related details, you can provide it here. Then the next one is the diagnosis files. Next one is the diagnosis files. So diagnosis files means it's kind of error files, log files. Diagnosis files are error files here. Suppose in your system, so normally when you visit the hospital, so normally what the doctor will suggest, so while doing the diagnosis, so he will ask the some reports, right? So initially you don't see, he will check, he will ask the some reports, test cases. Then once the reports are done, then you will see the reports and you will find out the what is the error and what is the diagnosis is the diagnosis in your system. So like that you will identify, right? Same as like here, by using the diagnosis files here, right? So here we can see the what's happening with the your family members, means server level system processes, diagnosis files for the server process here. In the server level, we have the 7 process, right? Most of the work will be carried out by the server process here. Index server, name server, preprocessor, daemon, all the server process here. All the process related information, we can see it here, log files. I mean to say, it kind of log files. We can see the information in the here. In this case, here we can find out the information here. If you open the local server, if you open the name server, suppose if you open the name server, the information will be displayed here. What's happening in the in the name server? What is the file it is writing here? So what is the error messages we have here in the system? All the error information is displayed here. All the we have the information here. So there is a query got failed to get the volume ID. Someone executed the query. It got failed. It got failed on the 2/5th, in the 5th to in the February 5th. So it got failed here. So some information here. So you are getting the some information in the systems here, right? So and also you can see the, suppose you want to check the some dispatcher is web dispatcher is restarted. You want to check what happened, why it got restarted and everything here. Then you can check the log files here. You can check the log files here. So these are the some diagnosis files. So each and every process which is there in the your HANA database, each and every process which is there in our HANA database here. So this will give you the results here. This will store the log file, each and every action of this process back and what it is doing and everything. It will so generate the log file in the diagnosis files tab here. So it is the tenant. In the tenant we can see the index server, access engine. So access engine, index server related files we can see it here. Right, we can see the access engine. So index server related files, we can see it here. What's happening in the here. So all the information we can see it here, right? So trace files, this kind of trace files we can see it here, right? So that access engine. So web browser request related request and all the information we can see it, right? Kind of diagnosis files. Sometimes, sometimes as a ad hoc basis, SAP will ask us to generate the logs. Sometimes SAP will ask us to generate the logs here. In that case, what we have to do, we need to go to the here diagnosis files only. More logs means collect the more logs based upon the timestamp. Based upon the timestamp here, last 24 hours, last 7 days and everything. You want to last 7 days, it started only today, 5th and 9th. So then in this case, if we go to the diagnosis information, collect it here, it will give the from which date to which date you want. All right. Then just click on the finish button. Then the diagnosis log files, all the log files will be clubbed into the one folder here. It will be clubbed into the one folder here. So that related log files we can find out in the systems here. We can see that log files are getting created. That log files are getting created in the system now. So we can save, we can get it from the OS level. Then we can inform to the, we can upload to the SAP for further investigations here. So normal, if anything, small things, we can investigate it. We can fix the issues, if anything. In case we are also unable to fix the issues, so that time, if in case we are also unable to fix the issues here, then so we can report to the SAP. While reporting the SAP, SAP will ask us the logs. Can you provide the index server logs, name server logs, and other logs they will ask us. So we have to provide the logs to them. Then they will investigate it here. They will investigate the next steps and everything here. Right. The next one is the trace configuration. So trace. So the existing diagnosis files are not enough. Means the existing log files are not enough here. You require the more logs, tracing configuration, traces. So normal ST01, ST05. So trace configurations here. So in the database level, if you need the more traces here, you can go to the trace configurations here. In the trace configuration section, just you can set the user specific traces. Suppose if you want to set the some user specific trace, suppose you want to some user, suppose like system user, or suppose if you want to Ravi user, you want to check the Ravi user what he is doing and all the information you need some report. Then in this case, go to the user specific information. There you can check the users. Suppose you want to check the system performance is very bad, same as like some slowness, some slowness and everything, some performance issues. Then we can check the performance related things and everything. We can find out from here. You can provide the username, DB username, application username. Just click on the OK button here. Then expensive statement trace here. Expensive means a long running. Expensive means a long running statements. Sometimes statements will be executed very long time. So if you want to change that one, if you want to track it, then we can use this expensive statement trace. We can on it here. So if you on it, what will happen? The statements which are running in the system, which is running from the long time, which is running from the long time here. So it is running from the long time here. It will give the results here. It will give the results here. Expensive statement trace here. Okay. That is the long running statements here. So this is about the entire. So traces. It kind of trace configuration means if you need additional logs to investigate further, then you need to get the trace. You need to go to the trace configuration. You can collect the logs and information. Sir, already logs are available, right? Are there not enough here? Sometimes these logs are not enough here. Sometimes these logs are not enough to handle that time we have to so go to the that time we have to go to the expensive trace and we need to generate it here. Expensive trace, we need to generate it here, right? So that is the information here. So expensive trace, we can generate it. If the logs are okay, fine. If these logs are not enough, means your issue is not recorded, then in this case we may have to take the additional traces by collecting the either database level trace, SQL trace, performance trace, whatever the traces, we can collect it here, right? Now expensive statement trace is active here, which means here always the expensive statement traces will be generated here. The log file will be generated here, expensive statements. This is about the your HANA Studio admin topics here, which means we have not completed, still we have left here. So apart from that, suppose if you want to stop the HANA databases, stop and start of the HANA databases here. HANA DB stop and stop and start here. So normally multiple ways we can use it here. One is the OS level commands. OS level commands we can use it here. You need to log into the SID ADM, then HDB space stop, then HDB space start here, so that HANA database will be stopped status and started status here. Otherwise, HANA Studio. HANA Studio also you can use it here, HANA Studio. In the HANA Studio also connect to the system DB here, connect to the system DB, right click and just to go to the configuration and monitoring here, then restart and stop and start here. So this is the one more way, right? HANA Studio. Second one is the HANA, third one is the HANA Cockpit. Cockpit is also one of the web-based tool. There also we can use it here. The fourth one is the SAP control command, SAP control commands. This is also operating system OS level command only here. Same as like either you can use the HDB start and stop or OS level commands also. You can use it here for stopping the database and starting the databases here. Okay. So these are the commands we have to use it. So the next one we have to discuss about the delta merge. It's very important. And save point that I will discuss. Delta merge and save point. Okay. I think any questions, anyone from here today's up to trace configurations and everything, stop and start trace configurations and everything. Any questions, anyone?
Can we get trace files from OS level? Like,
Yeah, OS level also we can take the traces here. There is a file system trace. So
that CD trace,
yeah, CD
like that.
trace. Yeah, we have the CD trace. So
Oh,
there, what you have to do, there is a voice level file system option. So let me explain that one also. So we have the OS level Above the SAP level file system, OS level, we have the HANA file systems are there. SAP OS level, HANA file systems are there here. So here, same as like SAP, here we have the USR, SAP, SID, we have the SID here. Same as like SAP. Here we have the sys and HDB instance number. Then, so we have the, yeah, these are the sys and HDB instance numbers are there here. Under the sys again, we have the three folders here. Sys, sorry, sys profile, then sys global directory, and sys exe. Profile directory, HANA level profiles are available here. Then global directory, HANA, so security, some of the security settings, then INA files. INA files are available. If you go to the operating system level, so then just to go to the USR, SAP, HD9, HD9 or HD, what is the file system? HD1, HD1. Under the HD1, you see sys HDB instance number. So if you go to the sys folder, here we have the profile directory, global and exe. The profile directory, we have the profiles are available. Then global directory, under the global directory, we have the some security settings here, security settings. Apart from that, here we have the HDB, then custom, then config. HDB, custom config options here. Here we have the INF files are available. This location is very important here. HDB, custom config. You need to remember this one here under the global directory. So this is for the, for what? For INA files here. So normally INA files are available at here, right? If we go to the, so configuration, we have the INA files are available, right? So INA files are available here. This is the studio level. In case of database is down, where can you change it? Right? You cannot log into the HANA Studio. In that case, so that case also OS level, we have the some files are available, some properties there. We have to go and we need to change the configurations and everything. We have to do it here, right? We have to do the configuration here. That's why we have the, so this path, the global HDB config file, where the INA files are located at operating system level means, so this one you need to answer, you need to tell this one here, right? With this one you need to answer here, HDB custom config files here. Okay, so this is the one thing here. So, and this is the global directory, only one of the important folder here. So important folders here, which they ask you during the interview point of time here, right? So then HDB custom config profile means same HANA level profiles. EXE means if HANA related services and everything here. If the HANA database service are up and running means because of the this services, database service are up and running means this library same as like SAP kernel, we have the HANA level, these are the file system kernels or library files are available here. So normally SAP level, we have the kernel files, right? So sysexe, so there we have updated. Here HANA level, there is no kernel files, but here HANA binaries are exist here. These are the binaries here. These are the binaries here. These binaries so are very important also here. This is available under the sysexe only, sysexe only here. Same as like SAP, here also it will create the file systems here, right? Then after that, very important folder is the HDB instance number here, HDB instance number here. In the HDB instance number, so if you go to the here host name, with your Linux host name, there is a host name folder here, right? Under this folder name, we have the trace. So this trace file is very important here. This trace file is the very important trace file here. Same as like diagnosis files here in the studio level, how we have the name server, local client, daemon, web server, compile servers, everything. Same log files are located here as well here. So here HANA Studio will take the reference files from the here itself only. So in case of HANA down, suppose in case if you ask me the previous question, sir, you check, we will check the log files at studio level here. In case of HANA down, where to check, where to check it out. Then in this case, OS level trace directory is the very important here. Here you can check the traces and everything. We can check it out here. So here you can check the name server, traces, daemon, web dispatcher, right? Compile server. So name server, all the traces are available here. All the traces are available here in this case here, right? So these are the traces related information here. Okay. So here cd hdb space underscore here you will see the details here, right? Here you can see the index server and access engine related details are everything here, right? Access engine related details are here, right? So you can see the index server and access engine, all the details are so here. This is the tenant specific. So that's why this is available under the traces only. You can see traces. Or if you just to go to SID ADM, suppose like HD1 ADM, then if you use the cd trace, directly you will go to the same trace folder here. So this folder same here. cd trace here. It's similar folders here. Okay. So either you can just use the cd trace or you can have to go to the this trace at end we have to go to the this trace here. Okay. That is the trace folder here. Okay. So this is the trace related configuration file here. This is the very important trace folder here. So trace diagnosis files, global HDB custom config, trace files, diagnosis files. Here you can see the files here, or you can go to the operating system level. Operating system level also here it's generated the trace files. All the files are available here. Here you can use, you can see, and you can open the log file. That's why we discussed about the more commands, more cat to view the files and everything. We discussed about the commands. Why? Because to view the log file, to check what's happening and all the information is our responsibility. So we have to open this one. We have to check the all the configurations and everything here. All right. This is called the trace OS level HANA file systems. OS level HANA file systems here. So which means HANA is a combination of software and hardware required. Definitely OS level folders will be created. So we should know about the folder. Sometimes they may ask you, can you tell me the location of the trace directory? Can you tell me the location of the, so all INA files where it is available here. So we are in the situation to tell the answers, right? So that's why we need to discuss about the, so these things also here. Okay, got it? Any questions, anyone?
So the parameter we're going to change at OS level, will it be for system DB or tenant DB?
Yeah, if you are changing for the system DB, automatically it will be impact for the tenant also here. Tenant also it will be impact. Why? Because it's like both specific here. If you are changing here, it will be related to the system DB, and there is a one more folder called the tenant DB. Tenant DB also we have the files are available here. Those things also can change it. Suppose example, if you see global HDB custom config. You see here INI files are. Suppose if you want, if you change it here, index server name server, these all are the, so tenant specific, sorry, system DB. If you go to the specific to the tenant under the tenant DB underscore tenant, so index server access engine, these are the tenant specific. Then you can change the parameter values for the tenant specific here. If you change it here, only system DB. If you change it here, tenant also will be impacted here.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Which command we have to use to change the parameter?
Which one?
OS
level SID ADM user. You're asking which user, right?
Which command?
Oh, command, right? So here to edit the any files here, we can use the VI editor actually. VI editor. Suppose normally Suppose I will create the one file here, suppose like touch space Ravi Linux commands. Okay, here you can see there is a Ravi file is created here. You want to edit this one, you want to edit this one, means you want to edit or you want to delete or something. Go to vi space this file name vi editor. Then you will get the screen like this here, right? Just click on the I for insert. You see here, here nothing is there here. Just click on the I for insert. Now you can type the data matter here. In the notepad, how can we type the matter here? Just you can type the detail data here. You can type the data here so that it will be recorded in this case here. Okay. So then we want to save this one. Escape, then insert will gone. Then colon, WQ exclamatory means save, WQ save. So enter. Then the file is data is saved into the files here. See here, data is saved into the file. We go to the more, then you see the content here. What is the data you entered here? All the data you entered here. So here, go to vi, file name. Then what do you want to change? You want to do something here. Then delete, 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 delete. Then delete, delete, delete. You want to insert. I for insert. Then so here you can type here something like that. You can write it here. Escape. Then colon WQ exclamatory. Then the file will be saved. Similar way, if you want to change the this parameter value, go to vi parameter name, right? Click on the I for insert. So then you want to do something. You want to change it to the value to the. So here then 1412. Then icon. Then see here the value will be changed here. The file value will be changed. So like this, we can change the values. Okay. If we keep on practicing the Linux commands also, so one day you will get perfect how to change the values at OS level as well here, right? So just keep on, just what to do, just you need to do the just hands-on practice for the Linux commands and everything here. So I shared some commands, right? Like that, just you can use the Linux commands. It will be very useful here, right? So that's why we discussed about the Linux commands starting. Why? Because so here some files, some commands will be helpful for us to change it here. That's why we discussed all those things.